Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Patricia Kingston and I'm the Corporate Events Officer at Tourism NI. Thank you so much for joining us for this morning's webinar. This is the second session in our AI for Tourism webinar series, and today we're taking a look in a bit more detail at using AI to support written content for tourism marketing. We're delighted to be joined once again by our expert speaker, Kieran Connolly from Profile Tree. So over the next 45 minutes or so, Kieran's going to be explaining how AI is transforming content creation in tourism marketing and how you can best generate some tourism related content for your own business using AI tools. And he'll be chatting about some of the different best tools to use for that. After the main presentation, as before, I'll be picking up as many of your questions as I can along with Kieran. So any questions at all that you have today, just pop those into the question box at any time during the presentation and we'll pick up as many of those as we can at the end. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get straight to it. It's my pleasure once again to introduce Kieran Connolly for today's session. So good morning, Kieran, and over to you.
Thank you, Patricia. No, thank you, and thank you everyone for joining. So today is going to be suitable for everyone. So intermediate, if you've never used AI before, through to advanced. We're going to have some advanced tips as well. We're going to just quickly launch a poll and we'll get started, but it's always useful just to gauge. So again, just to know how heavy are you using AI tools. So again, I'll lean more into the advanced if it's an advanced audience today, or keep it broad if it's a little bit of everything. So also really good to know where you are against your peers. So how is AI being used in the industry is good for us to know overall. So just give it 2 seconds as that rolls through. Obviously, we've got lovely ChatGPT up on our screen here, and that's where we're going to start. So I think we've got a good poll there. We could maybe just publish the results then. So we're seeing that 51% are using AI sometimes for content creation, which is good to know, and 19-20% have never used it, so really interesting. And then we've got 9% who are very strong users of AI. So thank you for sharing that, and we get straight in. So good to know, a good broad mix today. So when we're looking at AI for content, there's a couple of tools that we would use. We've used nearly, I'd say, everything at this stage, but there's a couple that we've always set on. So of course, OpenAI ChatGPT, for those who've never used any AI tool, if you go on Google and type in ChatGPT, this is the page you're going to be presented with. You click on Try ChatGPT and we get into this screen here. So this is one of the best content creation tools that we would be using at the moment. And this is a paid account. Now, again, as we covered last week, the difference between free and paid accounts, you do get more capacity, you get a stronger model, and your data in the paid accounts is kept within that account. So there's a lot of benefits. So there's no risk of your data ever being used to train an AI model. Now, again, for content creation, maybe you're not sharing any really sensitive information, so maybe that is not a concern for you. So again, that's a good balance versus paying, but there's a business decision to be made. It's around, most of the tools are around $20 for the paid account, and we think it's a good investment, around £16 sterling. So ChatGPT is definitely a tool that you should have open and be using. Claude AI is another tool that we would use for content creation and use it a lot. In my opinion, it writes better content than ChatGPT. It feels more real, more human, more humanized, if there's such a thing. And this is owned by Amazon, and Google is backing it as well. So very, very good tool, excellent for code and analyzing data. And personally, I would use it a lot for creating content with ChatGPT. And then the last tool that I'm going to highlight and use today is Perplexity AI. And that, again, you can see it here on our screen. And again, we're going to use these tools now today. This is definitely a workshop, so we're going to get very practical. But these are the 3 tabs I would have open if I was writing new content in any area. So written content for a website, brochures, social media. If I was doing an email campaign, these are the 3 tabs I would have open, and you'll see how I would jump in and work through them. Now, one thing to highlight with Perplexity is that it does have DeepSeek R1 added to it. So you'll have heard a lot of buzz over DeepSeek in the last couple of days on the news, and maybe you're even wondering what it is. So basically, it's a new AI that launched last week in China, and the key thing with this is that it's 90% cheaper than what was already world class and leading the way. And early tests, and even I've been using it as well. It might even be better in some instances as well. So if you can imagine, this tool has reduced the cost of running AI, which is amazing. Back to, we're all very conscious of sustainability. It's reduced the cost by 90%, the processing power to compute, which again is a game changer. That's why the stock market shook a little bit, because obviously they're banking on large revenues being generated, and this has reduced the cost. It's good for us as SMEs because it means that AI is only going to retain and maybe even get more affordable going forward, which is good all around. So we just have to watch how it develops. Interestingly, so you can sign up for DeepSeek directly and you can download it onto your computer. But interestingly, Perplexity have added it, and it's in their model now. So you can actually use DeepSeek within Perplexity, so you don't have to use it or go and sign up yourself. But also they have it hosted in the US. So there's obviously some concerns where the data is held. So globally, it's held in the US for this model. So just to make you aware of that, and you can use that, and we'll have a look at that today. Of course, here's the settings. So the beautiful thing with Perplexity is, and slightly unique compared to the other models, you just go down into here where your account is, hit the wrench, and you go into your settings, and you can go through this and just to see, and I recommend you do this in all of your AI tools that you're using. There's an option here for it not to use my data for training. You switch it on or off. And then the other option in Perplexity that's interesting is that you can actually select, on this is the paid account, you can select which model of AI you use. So Perplexity doesn't have its own advanced model. It does have its own model, but it's not as advanced as Claude or ChatGPT. So they've actually integrated it into Perplexity. So you can switch between the different models, and then they've now introduced DeepSeek as well. So it's kind of like a amalgamation of a couple of AI tools, and it also live searches the internet, including social media. So that's what makes it a really interesting tool. Now you can use it again, to just a recap. So ChatGPT you can use for free, and then you get if you upgrade, you get a more advanced, more features. Claude you can use for free, and if you upgrade to the $20, you can get better model and more capacity if you're a heavy user. And Perplexity you can use for free, and you can use it at the top level 5 times a day, and then it goes to a reduced model, or you can upgrade to, again, $20 or £16 a month, and they do have annual plans as well. So that's just showing you the 3 models that we use and the pros and cons of each of them. So as I mentioned, the DeepSeek is on fire. It's taken over. So DeepSeek is breaking the internet, and we hear it on the news, and that's all the politicians are talking about, because it's transformed everything in the AI world. So this is what it looks like, just again to show you it. And again, if I wanted to know what's happening, what I would do is I would actually go to Perplexity and ask it, give me a summary of DeepSeek. And this again is just highlighting the power of these AI tools. So I don't have to go to Google or any news website and read 5 or 6 articles to find out what's going on. Perplexity is going live to the internet and giving me a summary of what's happening. But the beautiful thing is it links or references everything, so we don't have the hallucinations that we would have heard of in 2023 and 2024. Everything is referenced, so I can go and check the sources and make my own judgment on that. So it's giving me a summary of it here, and then if I wanted to go and deep dive, I can, and I can ask follow-up questions, and that's why I would like Perplexity. But let's get into the good stuff for sure. So the key to getting the best from any of these 3 tools for your AI content is the prompts that you use when you're using the tool. So we would say no lazy prompts. And what I mean by a lazy prompt is the prompt that I have on the screen here in ChatGPT. So I've just went and I've typed in keywords for hospitality business in Belfast, and I even give me. So basically I'm asking for keywords. That is definitely a lazy prompt. The key, and it's even more important in 2025, is that again, back to sustainability, the AIs are being programmed to be lazy and to conserve power and water. So and actually by responsible use of them, by asking 20 questions like this, we're firing up the machine every time. Now the use is very, very small, but obviously if we can give it a really good prompt the first time, we're going to be using the platform better and also save our time, because we're not going to get a good result with a response like this or a query like this. So don't be doing any lazy prompts. You need to give it as much detail as possible about your business. And how you can do that is you can go to your About Us page on your website and copy and paste in the information here. If you've got marketing plans or information that you prepared offline, you can add attachments. If you've any data analytics, so again, if we're talking about content for websites or email marketing campaigns or social media analytics, you can add that in and educate these incredibly smart tools on your business. And the beautiful thing with that is the responses that you get are going to be much, much better, a much higher level. So when we talk to people and we hear AI is not working for me, it's giving me really bad generic content, it's actually down to the prompt. It doesn't understand your business enough to give you really good information. That's the key to everything we do. So no lazy prompts. So here's a better prompt. So I need a comprehensive keyword list, or I need comprehensive keyword research for my hospitality business based in Belfast. Please provide, and I've given a big long. So this is a good prompt. I've been very specific on what I need and what I want. Now, often people will be saying, look, I can't do prompts like that. I don't have the knowledge. How do I get this? I'm going to give you probably my biggest tip or cheat on this is what you need to do is ask AI for the prompt, if that makes sense. So how I got that prompt for my keyword research, and I have it here in ChatGPT, I jumped over to Perplexity, which is my 3 tabs. So I'm using them all together. And I asked Perplexity, could you write a great prompt for getting keywords in ChatGPT for my hospitality business based in Belfast? And it gave me an incredible prompt, as you can see here. And what I did, I copied this, and it gave me some points and tips on using it. So I just copied this and brought it back into ChatGPT and edited it. So now when I hit submit, I'm going to get an incredibly detailed, more accurate list. How I could improve this again in the next level is if I put in the information from our About Us page on our website. Now that would bring it to the next level, because then it'd know who the business is, it knows about our how we're founded and a little bit of our history, and obviously it'll use its database as well that it has collected from using the internet. So again, loads of ways that you can get a really good prompt, and then the output is going to be incredibly strong that way as well. So that's a good way to do it. So again, just jump over and use the basically, if you're ever stuck with AI, tip, ask the AI, and you'll be amazed with what response comes back. And building out a prompt or anything like that, you can ask it, what should I ask? What would be a good question to ask an AI on creating social media posts? So good way to go. Another thing, and just to highlight on the paid version of ChatGPT, so I'm very pro on businesses investing that £16 a month because I do think it's good value. On the paid version, you can add files, you can do live internet search, and you can see all these little prompts that are coming up here reminding us what we can do. But one thing I really like and I use a lot is the speech option. So this is available on the desktop and on your mobile app as well if you're using the paid account. And all you do is click on speech, and I'll just show you now. It goes blue when it's ready. Good morning, chat. I need help with coming up with a keyword list for a hospitality business in Belfast. Can you give me a really detailed creative list of keywords that I should be targeting? We want to reach American tourists who ideally have kids and who intend to visit Northern Ireland for 1 to 2 weeks. They will have a car. So could you give me an initial list of keywords for that, please?
Of course. Here are some creative and detailed keyword ideas that can help attract American tourists with kids who plan to visit Northern Ireland for 1 to 2 weeks and will have a car. Family road trips in Northern Ireland, kid-friendly attractions in Northern Ireland, best family activities in Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland family vacation
Okay,
guide.
chat. No, thank you for that. Should I see you're adding in the location a lot into these? Should I have keywords that don't include the location?
Absolutely. Using keywords without specific locations can help attract a broader audience.
Okay, chat, thank you. Cool, excellent. So now you can see, so basically you can have a conversation with your AI, and the beautiful thing is that the conversation is detailed live in the text chat. So if you're walking around the house, out for a walk, driving the car, obviously safely on Bluetooth. You can have a chat with your AI and have work being done, or you're on public transport. Obviously, people will start looking at you as we talk to our AIs, but this is going to become quite normal. But again, you don't have to type. So you can, when you've got something in your head, like an idea or a strategy, you can open ChatGPT and start verbally explaining it and have it summarize it and then make it professional, read it back to you, prepare a report, and it's all available then for you when you go back to your desktop or onto your mobile phone, and you can take that and work it into your plan. So again, a great tool, and it's just so easy to use. So again, we don't even have to type, which is just incredible. So it blows my mind. So in our office, you see loads of people talking to their computers all the time now, which is really interesting to see. But we've all got these personal assistants, so that's another reason why we definitely recommend the paid version. Again, as we said, you really want to pull in as much data as you can about your business into the AI tools, because it then gets to understand what's happening, what maybe you've done in the past, how your campaigns are working, and that then feeds into better quality output. Just wanted to highlight here as well, so this is our own website, so not that it's all fine to share. And just in the last 30 days, so we've had over Christmas, so we've had 26,000 visits to the website, 32,000 times, which again is great. But what's really interesting, and we're seeing, and I encourage you to have a look at your website analytics. So we're seeing now traffic coming through from ChatGPT. So again, you can see here our fourth biggest known referrer of content, or sorry, people come to our website is ChatGPT. So people are searching. We're seeing people are going to these AI tools, just like I did for DeepSeek, and search for information. So again, if I was going somewhere, I would maybe ask ChatGPT to make out an itinerary. So is your business being found in that? So back to the reason we really want to be making loads of content at the moment is to make sure that our businesses are in the mix. So we've got ChatGPT here, we've got Perplexity, which is the other tool that we showed, and we've got Gemini, which is a Google tool, which I use occasionally for statistics. Again, great tool. I would use the free version, and I would use it for data and statistics. So I don't use it too often, but if I was doing a report and I needed that, then I would refer to that. So again, you can see now people are getting information and then clicking through to websites that way. So again, do check it out for your own business. When we're talking about AI tools, of course, we have to talk about ethics always, because it is very important. So again, we need to talk about content quality. So just bear in mind or remember that the AI tools basically have consumed most or a lot of the content that's on the internet, and what they're actually giving us back, they're repurposing content that they've read about topics and places. So there's not any originality in what they're saying. So that's important to realize, because if you're creating content, let's say for an article or a blog, it's going to be the same content. There's nothing new in that. You need to take it and use it as a base and then add your expertise into it, because the only content that's going to survive and really rank and deliver traffic is going to be the original content. It's still newness. The search engines are looking for new content. If it's a repeat of everything else, it's good as a base, but build on it, put in your expertise that only you know about something. So tips, advice, experiences that the AI can. That's how you will take your AI content to the next level and win. The accuracy, we always want to check the accuracy. Thankfully, it's not as bad as it used to be, and used to be some problems. But of course, things like opening times and because they change a lot. So that's why I like Perplexity, but always do check for accuracy for sure. Bias, of course, it's related to the content that's already online, and there is an impact for sure in creativity in general in the creative industry. So just to be mindful of that. There's a lot of workplace transformation going on, where people are being upskilled to use these tools. But again, they can do a much bigger role or job than ever before. And the biggest thing as ever is new content will win. So if you're creating content, it's the new content that you add into it. So again, we can get a great article from AI, but it's the new content that you add to it is going to make it be found online, if that makes sense. But any questions on that, do shout. So again, here's a Google Search Console, and just for one of our brands. So again, just you always want to see it, the hockey up to the right, but you just put this data. This is great data that you could pull out. So go to your Google Search Console, get your data, and export it. So all you need to do is hit export, bring it to Google Sheets or download it as a CSV, and add this content in, this information, this data, and the same for your social media analytics, your email analytics. Add all of this data into the tool so it has a better understanding about how your business is performing, and then use that to build out your plans. It's going to be much more accurate than just going cold and asking questions, if that makes sense. So again, I see some questions are coming in, so do keep them coming in, because we will pick them all up as we get to the end. So and with these tools, again, we just need to make sure that we educate them so they know as much as possible about our business. So the content that we get back is brilliant. So the whole key, as you've picked up with this, is the prompts. It's what you tell the AI, and it's never been easier with voice for you to give a really good prompt or tell an AI tool about your business. So there's no reason now with the paid version on chat to do that and really educate it on your business. But what we can also do is have written prompts that we save and we use and reuse again. So if you go to Google again, we've published 6 of our best prompts. So just type in our web address to Profile 3 AI prompts, and sadly there is ads now, LinkedIn, and everyone's advertising on this page, but it's a good sign. But in this page, so it's here, just skip the ads, you'll find 6 of our best prompts. We put them public, and just to show you how these work, and you can build out your own prompts. You can work with the AI and build out your own prompts. So here's one here. So again, just to highlight, we don't want the lazy prompts, so we just copy this information here, take it and add it into the AI tool. So I've done that already. So I've pasted in that prompt, and basically you can do the exact same and build your own prompts that you save. And what I need to do then is anything in brackets for our prompts, so we just need to change it to, you put in the business description. So I've actually cheated as below, and I've actually copied in Tourism Northern Ireland's content from their About Us page, and I'm just going to run this prompt. So again, it's just to show you what a good prompt will deliver. So I'm going to let this run now, and we can see what it comes back with. And I'm actually going to work through 2 of these prompts. So this is a prompt to refine our target demographics. So again, I'm educating the AI on our ideal customer or ideal avatar. Once I've done that, then I want to work out what are the content pillars. So what are the content types that we should be producing? So again, I'm copying this and bringing them back into the AI tool. So again, it's built out now the demographics of a customer for Tourism Northern Ireland. So I'd paste that in, and again, in our prompt we have add in your area of expertise, and I just put in as above. And again, I'm just going to hit run, and again, area as above. Just I'm cheating here. So it's building out this very advanced marketing plan for us using these prompts. Again, we've refined these quite a bit over time, and you can do the exact same as I say and build your own prompts, because once you have it done, you'll use them forever, which is brilliant. So it's again working away. So cool. I'll stop that and let it with the new prompt. So I'm cheating here, just showing you some information, and it will again give us a lot of information back. So this one here is to come up with content for our brand. So it's giving me 2 responses. I can pick what they are, and again I can go down. The key thing with producing content for the internet is we need to focus on pain points. So what are the problems that our customers are facing? So again, I would highlight the pain points here, and I put this in. So we don't want to produce content for the sake of it. We really want to be solving people's pains, because people will react to that. And again, with that, then I've stopped that one too, so I'm not letting it run. We will get better content that ticks the boxes of what a customer is searching for online, or their pain points. So this should bring it out in a table for us. So what I recommend is to go through this or Google AI prompts, and you'll find loads online that are really, really good, and use them to build out your ideal persona and your marketing plan, and with that then you'll be able to get incredible content built out for your business. So that's an example. So I've broke it by keep stopping it, but there we go. So it's going to start working now. So yeah, because I keep stopping it, it's not going to give me the goods that I want, but yeah, you can see how that would work and flow through. So when we're creating content for the internet or offline, actually I find the Google guidelines very, very helpful. So here we have, and you can just Google helpful content. So Google has really good guidelines on how you can create great content for the internet. So here we have the guides, and again, back to, does your content provide original information regarding reporting, research, or analysis? Does your content provide a substantial, complete, or comprehensive description about the topic? So no pages of 200 or 300 words. It's not going to work. It's not going to meet good practice for users, but also for Google as well, if you really want to rank a page. So they've got really good guidelines on what you should be and how you should be creating content for the internet. And it does come down to writing comprehensive, original content. So definitely use AI to refine what you're doing, to get the base of what you're doing, but we still want that originality built into it as well. So don't miss you or your team members adding value and uniqueness, because AI repeats everything. So that's not what we want. So if we're thinking of then as well, so we can use our prompts then to help us draft our social media. And for social media, what I would do again is back to it, and I've mentioned a few times, I would add your analytics in. So just keep adding your analytics and you will get incredible content. Paste in some of your past posts and ask it to analyze how they worked, what could you improve, what would be the plan going forward. So when it comes to newsletters, again, here I put in a prompt, and I did use AI to write this prompt. I asked it, I said I wanted to create a great newsletter for Tourism Northern Ireland, for business, for AI webinars, and basically it helped me come up with this prompt. So I'm getting good value from my request from AI. So again, I just fire that in and let's see what it does. So here we go. So it's coming up with attention grabbing AI webinars. And again, how AI can really help us in what we're doing. So again, for brochures or online work, offline work, it can help us refine what we're doing. So it's an extra person in the room, an extra voice in your ear that will help you get a better return out of your investment of time and money in marketing. So again, are these titles good? Are they better? And what you can do again is ask it to refine these or be more creative, or if you're under pressure for click-through rates or you really want people to visit the website, then tell that to the AI and it will refine these titles. So again, these look decent titles to start with, but then I would give it feedback and get an even better response. So again, think of AI as a very accomplished assistant that will help you in what you're doing with your marketing strategy. So that is very important. So again, you can see here it's helping with different types of content, which I asked it, the posts. And again, if I would just then again go back and say, can you be more creative? I need to get as many signups as possible, basically. And then I would basically challenge it. Now, what you can do again, of course, is take your content from one AI and paste it in another and have another AI correct its homework and get the feedback and bring it back in. I'd be totally honest, what I do if I was creating a piece of content, I would have one AI write the outline of it, and then I would take it to Claude and have it write the whole article. And that's the content I would use. But I would use either Perplexity if it's a real-time relevant. I need it to be topical in, say, 2025. I would use Perplexity for giving me the draft outline. It's very, very good for that. And then if I just needed a really good meaty article, I might use ChatGPT. But then I would always take it as a second wave into Claude, because again, as I say, I personally find that the content, the writing is much better. So again, now I've given it feedback. Not to say what it gave me was lazy, but again, it is programmed to conserve power, so it'll give me the bare minimum response that it believes will satisfy my query. So again, what I've done then is asked it to improve it, and let's see, here it is here. So again, they've changed it up now. So again, so AI is changing tourism, will you be left behind? So they've definitely they've amped it up a little bit for this. So the AI, very good, yeah. So again, is it better? You'll use some of these and you'll take them, and of course you can jump in then and start talking to the AI and refine what you're doing as well. So very, very important that you can do that. As I mentioned back in Perplexity, so if we go back to Perplexity, what you can do in the settings, so again, I can ask it, so give me an outline for an article on the best things to do in Belfast in 2025. And again, we can see what it does here. And I just want to show you how you can change the models in this. So I'm just going to wait for it to come up. This is the beautiful thing with Perplexity. If you haven't used it before, again, it's very heavy on sourcing everything. So we have here, so it's got this from a blog site. It's got this source is TripAdvisor and so on. So it does source everything. So you can actually physically go and check that it's correct and right. So again, it's giving me the outline here. And it's given me historical attractions, brilliant. Again, a very lazy prompt. I didn't tell it who the target audience was, what I'm aiming to do with this, is it, what's my call to action. So it's given me back probably better content than they deserve because the prompt is so bad. But yeah, I've got my answer here, and that's great. What I can do here, which is unique to Perplexity, is I can ask it to, if I'm not happy with it, I can ask it to rewrite it. But I can change this to one of the other models. So I can ask it to, at the moment, I think I'm set to ChatGPT in my settings. So I can ask it to go to DeepSeek and run DeepSeek. I can ask it to use Claude. And then, as I say, we've got ChatGPT here. So let's rerun this with DeepSeek. And I'm just going to scan it one last time just so I remember what we have. So again, it'll follow underneath. So just hit. So this is the AI model that launched last week. So again, I haven't used my other signed up account or anything. You can see what's unique on this model is it's taking more time to calculate what it's doing in its answer. So again, it's actually explaining what it's doing. So no other model does this. It's actually breaking down what it's doing as it's doing it, which is unique. And that's another thing that's shocked the market because no one else is so transparent of what to do. DeepSeek has made their model totally open source. So again, and you can see it does take a wee bit longer to run. So let's see what it comes back with. So it's going through everything. So you can see it's going looking at, yeah, you can see exactly what it's doing. It's going to outdoor activities, events, food and drink. Now it's saying I need to organize. So here we go. So it gives you full transparency of what it's done. So let's see. So iconic Belfast experiences. It's pulled in cultural as well. And again, everything is referenced, which is great to see. So again, back to that, making sure everything is accurate. Again, family attractions, great. So I would take this then, and I would then we're getting tables and everything. Wow. So I would take. So it's giving me again Perplexity, brilliant. So Claude doesn't live connect to the internet. That's the one downside with it, but Perplexity does. So it's pulling out all these festivals that are due to be happening in 2025. Again, back to real content. So I didn't even know that some of these existed. So I'm going to have to check them out myself. So really interesting. So again, I would then take this and paste it into Claude and ask it to write 1,500 word plus article. So we can do that and see now. I'd also say UK English. Oh, so there we go. And that is how we get an amazing art. But then, as I mentioned, you still need to add your own tone of voice, your own little tips and advice. Can you write a 1,500 plus word article? Again, just let it, and Claude just runs and you see how fast this goes if you haven't used it before. So let's see. So it's a pretty meaty ask, 1,500 words plus, and there we go. So we're getting our article. The beautiful thing is it does understand SEO. We get a really strong title, and we get our subheadings built in. So again, it's working this out. So what I would do then is I would take this, copy it, say if it was going onto our website, but then enhance it back to that point, like add in the value, add in the tips and advice, and link to the relevant sites, and do your checks to make sure it's good quality content. And of course, what I could do at the end of this is ask it, can you give me a post for various social networks, for example? And again, ideally you have these prompts saved and you can just copy and paste it in. For example, it could be X and LinkedIn and Facebook. So everywhere you are, and then again, it will just speed up your whole workflow in what you're doing. So it's a good way to go. So cool, excellent. So there we go. We've got our posts. And LinkedIn and Facebook. And again, so you take this, don't copy and paste, because it does, everyone knows if it's AI, and AI, everything's going to be AI generated very soon, but you don't want to copy and paste it. What you want to do is definitely take it and tweak it, add your own tone of voice and make it more unique to your brand. But you can see how you can really speed up your workflow. And then I could ask, okay, for my newsletter, can you write this as one? And again, so you can see how you can take that one piece of content and then turn it into multiple pieces of content that you could share, and really amp up your marketing, especially if you're not doing email marketing, for example, or maybe you're not posting on some of these platforms already. You can build this into a scheduling tool and have that content automatically shared across those platforms. So here's our newsletter, and again, give it a little bit of feedback, enhance it, and you've got a really good newsletter going out as well. So that's from one piece of content. And it did start in Perplexity, and I'd be totally honest, that's probably where I would start for most of my piece of content, because of the live search. Because again, you're just getting live data. So if we're thinking and wondering about going forward, so all of this AI content is going onto the internet, is there not going to be a flood of content? I would be totally honest, we've never produced so much content in our life, so that is a problem. So that's why you really do need to make sure that your content is standing out and a step above the rest. We have AI websites that are 100% AI, and we haven't touched the content, and that content does rank and delivers visitors, people coming through, and sales for our business. But I think that's very short term. There's no doubt, because of the volume of AI content that is being produced automatically online, that it's going to be the content that has that original commentary from you that's going to really give you the best ROI. So you might get a quick win today by posting something very quickly on AI content on the website, but long term you're going to lose that. So hence we'd advise that you would use AI as a base, and then add that your expertise to make it stand and be there forever. So I did ask, of course, AI, what is the future? What does the future hold for AI content, written content, and what should we do? And very interesting, again, this is ChatGPT. It came back and did give me insight. So again, it does search the internet, but just not as live as Perplexity is now driven. Perplexity internet search is their primary reason. So it's come back and said short form video content is going to be, and I would agree with that. So it's so easy to produce written content now, as you've seen today. Video, and that thankfully we cover that in a future webinar, how to do images, and then we look at how, but you can use AI obviously to help you scale your video production. So we will dive into that in a future webinar. SEO optimized long form evergreen content. So evergreen is content that doesn't date. So again, writing an article about a festival or an event that's on this weekend and it's not going to be repeated next year, that sadly piece of content is going to be out of date and not relevant, and no one's going to be searching for it. But if you've evergreen content, then that's brilliant. So again, you can go back in and update that. One of the biggest tips I can give you today is, if you have a website and you haven't updated the content on those pages, you don't need to add loads of new content to the website. Go back and update your current pages, because if you go to your Google Search Console, you'll see that your pages are already ranking. So use the AI. So copy the article, so your service page, or let's say it's a wedding page, copy that content into AI. Go to Google Search Console and copy the metrics for that brand into Google Search or into AI, and ask it to enhance the content. You need to update your content. Google and the search engines don't like pages that haven't been updated. And again, most people, what we see is that they maybe launched a website 2 or 3 years ago, and the static pages, even the blog posts, haven't been updated. Google is not going to rank that content. It is going to start to degrade, because if someone comes out with a new, fresh page, it's going to outrank. So go back and update your content. Use AI. It's never been easier to do that. You could do this in maybe 2 or 3 days, even for a medium-sized website. So it's going to, and it will transform your traffic nearly immediately. So definitely do that. You don't need to be adding new content. So again, with the evergreen content, let's say you've got a blog post that's 2 days in Northern Ireland. But you wrote that maybe last year. Well, of course, that's why Booking.com and TripAdvisor and all these other platforms, do so well in search is because it's been constantly updated. But if you haven't updated that article in 2 years or 3 years, that article is so out of date because so much has changed. But you have it already built, and you maybe spent 2 or 3 days in it. Imagine you went back in and added 2 or 3 paragraphs, updated opening times, and added a new experience, and then you can share that content on social media. That piece of content will absolutely fly. As I say, the search engines love updated content, so definitely do that. That's on your list. User generated content, very interesting again. So back to trying to get away from the AI. So user generated real content, so not overly polished, but real content. So we'll cover that as I mentioned in the future webinars. So again, and podcast and audio as well. So really interesting to see that even AI is predicting that the best way forward is definitely do your long form written content, update your pages, but long term it's going to be maybe other media forms as well, because it's so easy. It's nearly too easy to do written content. And that was the presentation today. I guess we'd stop and go back to questions, but as I say, the 3 tools for content writing, and I wouldn't bother using anything else to be honest, is paid ChatGPT if you can, or free, Claude AI and Perplexity. Hopefully you've seen value in adding Perplexity to your list as well. And again, this is where you get 5 pro searches per day for free, and then this automatically switches off for the 6th search, so you don't have to upgrade to get the best from this to start. So excellent. So we'll jump now and see what questions have been asked so far, if that's okay.
Thank you so much, Kieran. And just a reminder at this stage, that was loads of information, and this was being recorded today, and we'll be sharing a link to your recording for this as soon as we have that ready. We just need to do some little edits on it, but certainly later this week, that link will be, excuse me, will be issued via email to everyone that has signed up for today. So, so do feel free to check back on our website if you don't get the email, but it should come into all of you in the next couple of days. So you can watch back at your leisure, you can pause and ponder on some of the things that Kieran was showing us there, because it was a lot to take in, but really, really interesting, Kieran. Thank you. As Kieran mentioned, I'll be kicking off our Q&A session shortly. So if you have any questions at all you haven't put into the question box just yet, there's still time to do that, and we'll get through as many as we possibly can in the next 15 minutes or so. So just before, as we always do, we're going to do a couple of very quick polls before we get stuck into your questions. So I'll kick off with the first one there. So how would you rate today's session in terms of overall satisfaction? That's on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being extremely satisfied. So I'll just give you another couple of seconds to complete that for us. And our second poll is, how would you rate today's session in terms of content and relevance to your business? So that's again with 5 being extremely relevant based on what you were hoping to get out of today. Give you another wee second there. Super. Okay, thank you so much. And finally, just a very quick yes and no question. Do you plan to take any action within your business as a direct result of what you've heard from Kieran today? I nearly called you Connolly there. Hi, Connolly. Thank you so much. Okay, that's really, really helpful for us. As always, we'll be sending a post-event evaluation link along with the link to the recording for today. So that is an opportunity for you to tell us what you thought of today, but also let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see on the topic of AI or wider, as we're always working on the next TED program or the next elements of the TED program. So do take the opportunity to fill that in, or if there's anything you really would love Kieran to be covering in the upcoming sessions and over the next couple of months, you can take the opportunity there to include that as well. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time because, as you can imagine, Kieran, we've had lots and lots of questions in today. So we'll kick off with the first question we got in was, can you correct AI if it creates incorrect content? Is there anything you can do in relation to that, Kieran?
Yep, totally. I would just tell it there and then. The problem is, it's really interesting if AI said that Belfast was the capital of the North. If you tell it that it's not, it will apologize and say, no, you're correct. So You do definitely need to be careful in what you're asking and how you're using it. I would always look for the references, and then definitely if you spot something, correct it. That's why I would lean a little bit towards Perplexity, because it does reference everything, and you get great comfort in seeing that. Funny that ChatGPT has started to copy or mirror some of that, which I think is Perplexity's best feature. But that's probably where we can win and add the value, is checking every fact and make sure it's right. Because there is obviously ways to auto publish content online, and it will be found out eventually. So yeah, you can tell it, but it will always agree with you. So that's it's not so if you can correct it, but it's not always the get you what you want, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but if you correct it, will it then remember that, and if someone else asks a similar question, they'll tell them what you've corrected it to then? Is that
No,
no,
it's only within your
that's correct
it's only
for
within your
yourself? Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
you can't influence it and change everything.
Yes, no worries. No, that's fine. Just to clarify, that's brilliant. Okay. So so yes, someone was wondering, does AI always produce unique copy? I think that's an interesting one. Like from an SEO perspective, say if two businesses ask the exact same question, would they get an identical answer? Is there a risk that, everybody that's watched this webinar today, if all the visitor interactions all ask the same question, will they have repetition within their what they get from AI? Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect. So sorry, I was gonna share something there just on that last question. So just one last thing there. So underneath all your responses, you can actually give a thumbs down or thumbs up and you'll have that in all AI. So if it's good
Ah,
answer, you can give feedback. So that does, again, just another way to correct the AI. So originality, stop my share again. So originality, yeah. So this was asked maybe year and a half ago, and if two people asked the exact same question, I think it was something like 1 in 10,000 chance that you get the exact same response back. So there's a lot of content, and as time goes on, that's less likely. But it's a very good reason for making the most amazing prompt, because your prompt will ensure that you get something very unique, and that's the key. So yeah, if 10,000 people asked ChatGPT to write the top 10 things to do in Belfast, two of those articles would be identical. Now, again, even within that, you'll find that only maybe a couple of words are going to change, so they're going to be very, very similar over time. That's why, again, you really want to be creative in the prompt. Like back to it, you're targeting US audience. They're here for a week. They've got a car. They like country and west or whatever. Just be as descriptive as you can, and you're going to get much better responses.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone's wondering here in relation to Perplexity, do you have to select an AI model for each search or query, or does it return a combined response from all the models that are built into it? So, how does that work, Kieran?
Yep. So in your settings, you select one model, so it doesn't combine them all. So you do need to use a model. You can use the Perplexity own version, but I'll be honest, I tend to go between ChatGPT or Claude. And now I think as of today, so the good thing about doing these so frequently at the moment is, yeah, I'd be looking at using DeepSeek for the next couple of weeks to see how that content, because again, it's meant to be equivalent to the $200 ChatGPT model, and so it's $200 a month, which is a premium. It's meant to
Mm-hmm.
be actually smarter than it, but it's built into the Perplexity, and it's included in the package there. And again, because it's US data, everything's okay. So I would be
Uh-huh.
leaning towards it, but you don't get a blend. But you can ask,
Okay.
you can use the rewrite. If you're not happy with your response, use the rewrite, and you can change it that way.
Very good. Okay. So someone's wondering here if they upload a document onto ChatGPT and does it remember the contents of that document even if it's deleted, or do you need to keep it up there for future reference?
Yeah, so it will remember within that chat, and over time the length of chats are getting better now. Funny, Google and Gemini has the longest chat available. It's millions of characters. But what you can do, and there's a feature we didn't actually look at it today, is if you are on the paid version of ChatGPT, you can go to, on the left hand side, there's an option called projects. So, and again, I can show. I'll just quickly show. And in that, then you can add files or documents to it and create a unique project and save it. So again, I'm just going to quickly share what that is. So here I've got projects on the left hand side. You just hit start, and you start a new project. You update your files into that, and then it will remember them within that. Claude has the exact same feature. Again, it has projects, so you can add up to 50 documents, I think it is at the moment. And again, it does remember them. So really, really good way to keep, if you've got loads of files and have a specific chat. So you could have a project, ChatGPT and Claude for, say, social media and my brand, and email marketing and my brand, and marketing strategy and my brand, and finance and my brand. And you can have your documents uploaded, and it remembers them in that chat, and it's locked to that account.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, well, someone's wondering here, this is an interesting one. Are there tools that exist to make ChatGPT more authentic? So can they analyze previous posts and make it sound more like you? So sort of almost learn your tone of voice? Or is there a way to do that? Or is it always a case of it'll give you the data and then you need to sort of add your own tone to that?
There is tools that are built on ChatGPT. Most of them will be paid, that will humanize the content. I'll get a link for one of the most popular ones as well. We would have used it actually when Chat came out originally. I think it's maybe $60 for the year. So I'll get the link for it and put it in. But again, I'll be honest, I think the best way is to add your own, like scan through the content and add your own manually. So we stopped subscribing to those tools. Two reasons. One, the AI that we're using now has become so good. We didn't think we needed it. And then two, just adding in a live story, we just seem to get better results, because you're really using an AI to correct an AI. So we're not getting that the original uniqueness that you seem to need to make sure your content ranks.
Absolutely. And is the rewriting option in Perplexity on the free version, or is that on a paid version, Kieran? Do you know?
That's a very good question. I'm going to check that now, and I'll shout in the next answer.
Okay, so someone is wondering if details of your own business or your event, for example, isn't coming up on an AI search. Is there something you can do to make sure that it does?
Yep, and the rewrite is a pro account, sadly. So yeah, it's a good, and that gives you action. So yeah, but again, like if you think you might try it out, maybe you'd use it heavily for a month, you will get good value from it. If you don't appear, so I would recommend everyone Google their business name, and then Google your keywords. What would a customer Google? So if you're offering food, or if you're offering a location or staying or an experience in an area, write what an American might write, or a tourist coming in that doesn't know when to stop using Google or search engines, and what do they get back? So how do you appear? And it's back to the basics of digital marketing. So again, having really good content on your website, building your domain authority, so getting mentioned on other sites, any mentions, links to your site being listed on the TNI website, and having a link back to your site. So it's all the good digital marketing things you need to be doing. It's never been more critical, I think, to make sure you're appearing in those searches, because more people are definitely using AI for searches. And I think outside of the UK and Ireland, it's even more widespread with consumers than it is here.
Very good. Now, I've got two interesting questions, so I'm going to ask them at once because I think they're kind of related. So someone has asked, will Google prioritize content that's authentic over AI generated content? But someone else has asked, do you notice or tend to notice more engagement on AI generated posts compared to man-made? So it's kind of two opposite questions there, so quite interesting.
Yeah. So we've seen last year on Facebook, some of the most engaged posts on Facebook, for example, were AI generated. So again, it was like you'd see people maybe saving the cat, but of course, so we would know looking at it, it was 100% an AI image, but users didn't know and didn't realize, and there was loads of comments on it, and then you'd have comments people saying it was AI, and it just exploded. So again, back to, if you could be very smart and sneaky in how you present this in a good way, and maybe bait engagement, that's for sure. So there's sometimes if it's really AI and it's bad AI and it's just wrong, it'll just fall flat. But if it's creative, back to us and what we add as, say, marketers or operators or business owners, then it can be very, very impactful. So that's a good way to go. With the written AI content, yes, definitely. Now we've sites are 100% AI and they are doing very well and not never been touched. But I long term, there's no doubt, because it's costing Google money. They do not want that. They want original content. It will always outperform, I believe, long term. So you want that original content. So if you can add that, it's called EAT. So it's experience, expertise. So EEAT, and you Google it and you'll find the Google page. It's experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So you want to have that in all of your content, and Google come up with this. So it's your experience, your expertise. So I am a tour guide, and this is what for 10 years. So it's not an AI. Your authority. So again, people are talking about you and mentioning you, and how trusted are you? So back to the reviews. So Google is looking at all of that to understand and rank your content. So tick those boxes and you'll win.
Absolutely, that sounds great. So EAT with a double E. So how often would you recommend that businesses would use AI to update website content? Or how regularly should they review that?
It's probably we would always say you do it manually. We'd have been doing it manually, but no one ever does it. It's the biggest secret, I think, and hack that you can add to your business if you've got a website and you want traffic, is most people are writing new blogs and putting up new content, but we're forgetting about content that's already ranking. So you'll have, if you go to your Google Search Console, you'll see you've got pages that are position 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. And all you need to do is give it a little push. It's maybe missing a couple of keywords, a paragraph, maybe it needs to be updated for 2025. And that's going to take it. Google already trusts it, and it's in the top 10 or 20, but you're getting no traffic and no leads and sales. Updating and adding that content is going to take it, because Google loves freshness, and put it up 1, 2, 3. But if you write a new piece of content and publish it, maybe you have to wait for 6 weeks or 8 weeks for Google to take it, to understand it and to rank it, and it then only goes to position 10 or 15. So you're not to say you'll waste your time. So ideally, if you've got a resource, or even yourself, maybe it's 60-40 in updating old content. Still good to add newness and content, because that's the content that you can update in a period of time. But the biggest, if you want traffic in 2 weeks to your website, go in and update your old pages. It is transformational. It's the first thing we would do if someone walked in, is go and update old pages.
Yeah, absolutely. That's brilliant. Now, this is an interesting one. We have someone here and some of their staff, and I think this isn't unusual in Northern Ireland in particular, but maybe everywhere. They're a little bit afraid of AI. They don't really trust it. I think, there was the sort of this big kind of scary story around AI when we first started hearing about it in such, being so widely used. Is there any way, how can we reassure them that it's safe to use, or, is there anything that you would say to clients, Kieran, in general?
No, it's a very real question. Again, even we as a digital agency, like most of the job roles and functions that we deliver are being impacted by AI. So it's really interesting. So you do need to get your head around it. I would say AI's implementation in the business will help business owners focus on the real value. Like, again, we don't need to be doing all this admin tasks and behind the scenes that doesn't really add value to the business. It's actually a real cost, but we still need to do it. We can focus on the higher level aspects of the business, dealing with people. And with the AI, most of the AI tools that we're using are from major companies, so they're the data is safe. We do have the EU AI Act, which is the toughest AI Act in the world. It's a fine of 7% of global revenue for anyone that's misusing data from gathered by AI. So again, that is a very strong deterrent to any of the companies to be bad actors. And I would say we've been using AI, but just haven't noticed it. So our spam emails are filtered by AI. The banks use AI to identify unusual spending habits. Our mobile phones, Siri, when you get a calendar invite, Google Maps is all AI. So the directions and how you're getting to places. So AI is all around us in every aspect of our business. It's just probably it wasn't visible to us before. Even when you open Facebook feed, I think it was 2012, Facebook introduced its AI to give you content that it believed you would engage with more, as opposed to showing you everything. So we have been using AI for 10, 15 years and never known it. Now we have the power to use it because it's so cost effective. So that's the big difference. So a wee bit of mind change, but definitely nothing to worry about.
Absolutely, that's great. Well, this is an interesting one. So it's obviously maybe a larger organization. Can you get a business page that 20 or plus employees can use? How does that work in terms of accessing if you have an account, I suppose, with a
Oh
um,
yeah, so they
AI?
want more, they want multiple users.
I think so. That's how I'm reading that question anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so no, brilliant. Yeah, so ChatGPT, for example, has Teams accounts. Claude, I believe, has rolled it out now as well. So you can actually add multiple people and add them as admin as you would, like, say, an email account, and you can pay annually or monthly. So we do have a team account, and we've given access to team members, and we control it centrally. So if someone leaves, you can then remove them, the exact same as you would an email account. And you can, not perfect for smaller businesses who are starting. You can share an account as well, but a lot of them are adding two-factor authentication to them as well. So and then obviously anyone can see anyone's posts in it. The team accounts definitely, and it's more the reason that chat is only 2 years, 2 months out. They didn't have this feature, but they are rolling it out and making it more accessible. And you can then, if you're working on a project, you can share it with someone else, or if you set up a project in it, you can share access to it or share that content with another team member. So it is definitely developing and rolling out. Anyone that's using Microsoft 365 can introduce Copilot, and it goes on to all of your platforms. And if you're using Google for Gmail, it's rolled out Gemini, and it was a paid account a thing now, but in the last 2 weeks, Google have rolled out Gemini to everyone. So at the top of my emails, every email I'm getting summarize this email, and when I go into Google Docs, I'm getting summarize this, summarize that from AI. So it's been integrated into our daily working life, whether we want it or not, I guess.
Yeah, I'm conscious that we've gone a minute or two over, but we've got a few more questions. So if you're okay to hang on for another couple of minutes, I think we'll try and pick up a couple more just while we're here. So if anyone does need to slip away, as I say, this is being recorded, and you can come back and maybe watch just the last few minutes later on. So yes, someone was wondering. Okay, so you mentioned about AI potentially being able to analyze social media posts. Is that something you can give us a bit of detail on? Or is that maybe something that we would be picking up in our data session as well?
Exactly. So we'll take attachments and actually take it in and how we analyze it. So go just the easy way, the hack way to do it is if you go to your social platform, so Facebook or any of them, go like we did in Google Search Console there today. Just go and export the data in a CSV, or copy the data. Just can use your hotkeys and copy the data and paste it into, say, ChatGPT. These tools are actually better at analyzing data than they are at writing content. They were created to analyze content or data and code more than, as I say, write content. That's a secondary purpose. So download that data, add it, and then what you can do is ask the AI, ask ChatGPT, what's the 20 best questions I should ask about this Facebook or metadata, and it'll give you incredible questions, and then you just copy them in, and away it goes. Better questions than I would even think of, and that's the way to do it. But we will deep dive into that in the data webinar for sure.
And I know we did mention this earlier in terms of, if you're not coming up on AI, but is there advice you can give? Someone's wondering how they could make sure that there's a hotel in this instance, but their business comes up if people are specifically searching hotels or their location. Is there any advice you can give on that?
Yeah, it is. It's genuinely, we've never been so busy in this sector. It's building those third party mentions. So are you listed on all of the sites? Are people talking about you? Are you uh, on like local, Business First online in Northern Ireland, Chamber of Commerce, like any memberships you have, and maybe they allow you to post an article or two on the website that links back to your business. Then get on those, and just have as many third party mentions, because these tools are looking at third party sites. So again, classic. If we looked at agencies, there's 20 agencies, as in Belfast, and we all say we're the best agency in Belfast. So the AIs are looking at this, and Google as well, and just going, hang on a minute. So think of your reviews as well, your third party reviews. How good are you in that? Can you get more? Again, just to make sure that you're surfacing, and those reviews will have keywords in it as well. So it is all the good digital stuff you're doing, but it's more, and I would be aggressive on the third party mentions. That's probably the place that I'd see most businesses are weak. And we live in our own website, we live in our own social media, we live in our reviews, and we miss the third party mentions. Get them as aggressively as you can. Maybe that's your mission for 2025.
Very good. Now I don't know, I'm putting you on the spot here, but someone has said if you've got very limited budget, you only want to do one paid account. Would there be one of the three that you've mentioned today that you would, the ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity, that you would recommend would be the best value if you've got limited budget but you're happy to try something
Yeah,
out?
yeah, if there's limited budget, then I would use ChatGPT paid.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you can use Perplexity 5 times a day for free, and then and you can still use Claude free, so you can
Mm-hmm.
still use them at a good level. But just there's with the voice in chat, and then you've got the analytics, and you can do images, and you can do projects. I would say I would personally go with ChatGPT if I had to pick one.
I know. And then if we ask you again next week, that might change. That's
Yeah,
today's answer because it's all evolving so quickly. Okay. There is someone's asking here about ChatGPT and images. Now there is going to be a creating images session coming up as well. So just I'll very quickly ask this question, but then I think we'll wrap it up there. But is it do you need to use a paid version of ChatGPT to create images, Kieran?
I'm gonna
Putting
check
you
that.
on the
That's,
spot.
that's a good one. So yeah, I'm gonna just check because I'm the paid account, but I'll check. I'm gonna go into the free account
Yeah.
here now and let you know.
Um,
And the images in ChatGPT aren't great. They're good as watercolors or illustrations. They're great, for something. Don't think you're going to say, give me an image of Belfast City Hall and it's going to be a great image. It's sadly
mhm.
not. But if you have a watercolor of it or an illustration that does really good images, if you're after another tool that's free, and we look at this as you mentioned in detail, I would look at Ideogram AI, and it gives you 5 or 6 free images a day. And Leonardo AI, again, it gives you 5 or 6 free images a day. They're pro image tools. We'll actually look at them in great detail in the
Yeah.
next session. And as you're talking, I'm going to check this
Yeah.
free.
I was going to say, no, don't give too much away. You have to come to the image session, and then you'll find out all from Kieran. But yes, no, that's super. If there are a handful, we'll do a little review of the questions afterwards, and Kieran, I can pick up with you if there's any maybe very specific questions or some that we just didn't get to. But I'm conscious of running too far over here today. And also don't forget we've got a recording from today available for you to watch again. And of course, as we've mentioned a couple of times, there's still 3 more sessions in the program to come. So we've got AI visual design coming up next on the 12th of February. Then video creation on the 26th of February, and then finally data analytics on the 12th of March. So if you're not signed up for those ones already, after today's session, hopefully you'll be jumping straight on to do that if you just head to tourismni.com/TED. Okay, so thanks so much, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us. I know we've run a little bit over today, but I think it was worth it just to capture as many questions as possible. And we really look forward to hopefully welcoming you all back for the next session in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you so much, Kieran. Thanks everybody at Eventful who was fielding all the questions and keeping everything running behind the scenes. And see you all again very soon. Thanks.